Basic. Hi everyone. First of all, I would like to thank everyone. Our respected dean is here in our presentation from such a tight schedule. I would like to thank her for being here with us. And I would like to thank our professors and our mentors that are here for us on such a big day. We have worked on this project for almost 4 months. I think we have given us so much time. Everyone here present in the room. So it's a very big day for me as well as everyone who are presenting today. So I would like to introduce my project and my teammates. My teammates are Amitos and Nikunj. They both are really fabulous in the project, and we learned a lot during this whole process. So our project is reducing the water vulnerability of wood in a PBAT wood composite. It was PLA before when we started the project. It was PLA, but due to materials and some issues of the PLA, we switched to PBAT. So the thing why we switched to PBAT, I think the main reason behind that is the brittleness of the PLA. PLA is a really brittle, but not PBAT is not that brittle. It has elastic properties. So I think if anyone goes to the market, they don't want to buy a product that breaks easily. So if I want to buy a plate, I don't think so it will break easily. I will buy it. I will not buy it. So I would look for a thing that has reusability. So that's why we go for the PBAT, and that's the one reason why PBAT is good. And why PBAT also is good is PBAT is polybutylene adipate co-terephthalate. So in this, the polybutylene adipate thing is the one which is providing the biodegradability, and the terephthalate group is providing the strength. So that's why we go for the PBAT. It's a biodegradable. And the next thing we are using is the wood as a filler in our composite. So why wood? I think wood is easily available in the market. We all have some wood stuff at our home. We use it, throw it. It is of no use for us after we use it for a couple of years, and then we just throw it. So this is not a good thing. So that's why we are thinking that we should use wood. Also, it is a biodegradable. So that's why we go for wood. And the objective, as I already explained, we're reducing the water vulnerability of wood in a composite. And how we are going to do this is we first started with the resin, but then we go for the paint impregnated wood, because we don't have much literature for paint available on the net. So that's why we go for the paint impregnation. And I think research is all about trying the new things, not trying the things that are already available. So that's why we go for the paint, so that we can just show that this is what we have there and this is what we achieved in our project. So why is it important to reducing the water sensitivity of a wood in a PBAT wood composite? The main reason behind that is, for example, now if I have this door here, now if this door is drenched with the water, it's easy to break it, because we all know, if in India also, you all are from India, it's so like moisture in the air. So if we don't paint our wood things in the house, so they are easily breakable, because the strength reduces. If something is prone to water, so the strength will reduce. So that's why we are painting the wood with so that we can increase the mechanical and physical strength of the composite. So this is what our idea is. The main reason why we all are using composite nowadays, because we can engineer them. They are highly re-engineerable, and also they have a good strength. So that's why every company nowadays are trying to make a composite that have more greater strength, so that we can use them in the couple of things. For example, like in supercars they use it, and rockets they use it, so that they can reduce the weight and can have more efficiency. So that's what the plan today is. And the applications, if I talk about the applications, the one is the 3D printing. The example I gave last time also, I really remember it, that 3D printing is a kind of technique we can make prototypes with the 3D printing. For example, so if I try to explain about the 3D printing, how it works, last time also I gave an example that try to make a milkshake at your home. For a milkshake, we have a milk at the bottom, we have ice cream on the top, and the nuts on the top. So that's how 3D printing works. 3D printing machine make a layers on the layer. This is, I like to try the analogy with the milkshake, because we make the layers in milkshake also. So the same thing happens in the 3D printing. we can make the prototypes, and with the prototypes we can easily say that this is how this building is gonna be, where it is gonna be, and how we're gonna make the rooms in it. So that's what prototyping is. So, and the other thing, the applications of food packaging material. So nowadays, if I go to any superstore like Walmart, if we go to No Frills, everything is packed in plastic packaging. Like if we buy Ruffles, if we buy Lay's, everything comes in the plastic packaging, and we just throw it, we use it, throw it, and I think that's what this guy is collecting here. This is all thrown by us, the plastics, and this is of no use for us. So if we go to the biodegradable materials, they can easily degrade in the environment, and we can save our environment. That I think we are degrading a lot today. Not even me, I think everyone feels the same today. And the home and industrial construction. So the composites, this composite can be used in the roof. So if I think in the rainy environment or in the snow, if my composite is vulnerable to water, and if we use it on a roof or in the construction, so the composite can easily break, and you guys will be flooded if your roof breaks. So that's what I think it is the one use. And the other thing is the recycling furniture and plastic waste. So with this thing, we are recycling the plastic waste as well as our furniture. So that sort of thing is. Now I will talk about the methodology, how we're going to achieve this. So what we use is a wood impregnation. So we made 3 batches of impregnated wood, and we vary the percentage of paint in it. So there are 3 batches. In batch 1, the percentage of paint is 10%, then I think it's 15%, and then 19%. 17. Oh, I'm sorry about that. It's 17 and 24%. So that's what our batch 1, batch 2, and batch 3 is. So we impregnated a wood, and then we use this impregnated wood in the composite, and we are trying to test that how after varying the wood, the paint composition, our water vulnerability changes. So that's what we're trying to do. And when we impregnated the wood with the paint, the clumps are formed. So to get rid of this, because we are going to use in the injection molding, this thing not going to work in injection molding. So what we do is we sieve and grind it. We grind and sieve it, and the sieve size we use is 0.3924 inches. Is that right? Yeah. So that's the sieve size in it. And then we, after sieving it, we use it in making the composite. This is not a wood composite, but this is just a picture to show that how composites work. So this is, and next is going to take by Nikunj. Nikunj is going to take from here.
Hello everyone, my name is Nikunj, and as Anup said, after making composite, we immerse the dog bone in water. Initially we expected 1 week, but research lab was busy, so it took around 3 weeks. And after immersing the dog bone in water, we performed the tensile testing. As you can see on screen, dog bone after performing tensile testing. We use MIRTAB or software for data analysis. We use Tukey method for that, and one way ANOVA. Next slide. And as you can see, we use universal tensile tester. Initially, we decided to use a Pasco tensile tester, but dog bone was not breaking, so we go for universal. As you can see how we perform tensile testing. We use ASTM D638 standard for this. Now I'm going to talk about accountabilities, which part is done by whom. All pre-lab work is done by Amitos, and instrument handling is done by me and Anup, and all record keeping is done by Amitos, and housekeeping and communication about changes is all done by us. Now I'm going to talk about all challenges we faced in our project and how we overcome it. First of all, 3 group is working on a same injection molding. So one group was working with the ham. So it was a trouble for us. By increasing the temperature and pressure, we flush out the ham. It took around 45 minutes to flush it out. Now, we were not getting a uniform sample, So we decided to use DSC and microscopic analysis for that. What is present in breaking point, and we were facing the trouble with overflow. We decided to do a proper mold tightening for that, and also we were facing temperature and pressure. We were not getting accurate and constant temperature and pressure in a lab, so we did repetitive trials for this. And now next one will be Gami.
Hello everyone. So we collected our data and started analyzing it. We collected data for various parameters such as rupture strength, ultimate force, ultimate strain percentage. And for ultimate strain percentage, when we saw the data for first time, we observed that there was a trend. What the trend was, the blue, they're the wet samples, and the grey are dry samples. We observed that for wet samples, the ultimate strain percentage was higher than for the dry samples. But what happened after we performed statistical analysis? Next slide, please. So, after looking just from the top, what we did, we performed one-way ANOVA. Why ANOVA? We use it when we have more than two groups to compare the mean values. Here we have 9 data sets. So we were comparing the mean values. Why just one way? Because we have one factor, that is ultimate strain percentage mean values. And to compare how they differ from each other, we use 2K pairwise comparison, like which group differs from other and how. But what we expected was there will be difference. And what it turned out, they all were in the same group, group A, as you can see. This shows that since all of them are in the same group, our treatments, they're not very effective. So what? We went into microscopic analysis to further check what's wrong. As you can see in the second slide, second picture, what this picture shows, this is the breaking point of the sample after we conducted a tensile testing with the universal testing machine. What we observed in the microscope was that a wood floor and the polymer PBAT, the bonding was not pretty well among the two. So this can be the reason that all our samples, they have the same group. That is, their values are not significantly different from each other. And the other thing is, when we water immersed our samples, we observed that there was some discoloration in the samples. At first we were confused. Is it contamination? We did something wrong? What went wrong? But later on, we discussed it with professors and we realized that it was the tannins. When we put wood in water, it starts degrading. There is a chemical reaction happening. And what happens is, the cell wall ruptures, tannins and lignin come out, and the molecular diffusion happens. So the coloration which we saw, it was the tannin and lignin, as you can see in the first picture. There is a discoloration in the sample, in the red dot. So from this, it is very clear. If there is no bonding, we can explain our results. We got a backup that there was not significant bonding between two. So our results were not significant. Maybe our treatments were not effective because of that as well. Next, please. So what will be our conclusion? Obviously, if all the data, statistical analysis show that they're all in same group, they don't differ from each other, it means our treatments are not effective and we have to look into something else. But what are the reasons why treatments are not effective? So moving towards the reasons, the first reason we assume is that the water immersion time was not sufficient. Although we immersed for 3 weeks, but is it really sufficient? That is another question. So we assume that we have to prolong. If we can prolong our immersion time, that might work to see a difference between wet and dry samples that is significant. And the other is not enough replicates. We already use triplicates, but still we believe because the values we have, there was a lot of difference. For ultimate strain percentage, for one sample, one value was 1000, and for the other, the same kind of sample, the value was 1500. There was a lot of difference even in the 3 samples. So maybe we have to increase the number of replicates from triplicates to duplicates of triplicates or triplicates of triplicates. So those were the solutions, and now further steps. If given chance, what will we do? First of all, overcoming equipment limitations. When we started, we had another plan. We will do this. But when we went into lab, we realized which equipment we are gonna use. So our main concern during the project was we were using 3% wood. But is it really 3% we are getting in our sample, or is it different? We were not sure about that. To overcome that issue, we want to use micro compounder next time. And the next is increased replicates. As I already talked, the number of replicates may not be enough for now, so we want to increase the number of replicates for all the treatments. And varying wood percentage, this is one thing which I believe is really important to talk about. We use 3% wood, but the literature we got, the difference they saw, they were using 10 to 25% wood or even higher percentage. We tried to do with 10%, but our instrument got clogged, so we stuck back to 3%. So that was another limitation we had. So if given the chance, maybe we can try to increase the percentage of wood. And paint level. We were using 3 different paint levels, but we're not sure. If we have to increase the paint value, that might work better. And alternative to paint. Most of the literature we studied, and as my friend already told, that paint is really new idea. We studied about resin. They were using resin to protect or impregnate the wood. But we decided to use paint. Why? Because we have seen it a lot of times. Our furniture, we use paint for a lot of times to protect the furniture and stuff, right? Because of that reason only, we decided to go with paint. And additional testing methods. This time, we didn't have enough time. If given the time, maybe we can go with impact testing as well. That might also help to understand if we are really on the right track or not. And the next is what we learned: teamwork. We worked in a team. We not just learned to communicate with each other, but also with professors. What went wrong? How to be open? Not just what scares us, what we are having issues with, what we are proud of, everything. We started talking about those things. So that's what we learned, all the communication. And then it was, for many of us, it was in fact the first time that we started with something from the scratch and took it somewhere. And that's what I'm proud of, that we started something. We were really unsure in the beginning, how it's gonna work out. Will it be good? But because of the support from all the professors, their guidance, we took it somewhere. And the next is accommodating changing. On the way, as we all have schedule changes, instrument material changes, we learned how to accommodate those changes. We just can't stick with one thing, that if something is changed, now what? You have to make changes in your plan according to that. And the most important thing, perfect honesty. We always hear that sometimes lies are good. And I always believe nothing can be perfect. But science made me learn that you have to be 100% honest with your data, with your results, whatever you are getting. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Before we start with questions, I just have to say that this is a fantastic example of a project where things didn't go the way you were planning, but you still learned a huge amount. So hugely successful project, even though all your data ended up in the same group. Well done. Very, very well done. Perfect example of what I've been saying from the beginning.
Yeah.
All right, questions from the floor. Betsy.
That's a problem.
You should just turn it over.
Okay, yes, congratulations, not only for you, for everybody, right? But final questions. Yeah, I don't like, I think it's we should be changed, paint that word, paint doesn't like they, paint, you need to name it.
Protective coating?
Protective coating. I
Sure.
don't know my pronunciation.
That's all right, we understand.
It's protective coating. It's
Okay.
like you're a chemist, you don't want to be called engineer.
Okay.
Got
Yeah,
it.
next one is.
Protective coating.
Sure.
And I don't know if I understood. I don't know. Did someone of you say that you couldn't find information about protective coating?
About paint.
Paint.
About paint,
Yes.
use
Yes.
as a protective coating. We use like
Yes, water-based materials can be alkyds or water-based polymers made by free radical polymerization emulsions. There are tons of information, probably not in the form of peer-reviewed articles, but in the way of there are some main industries. I don't know PPG, just to name